And we are live. How is everybody doing? It's Wednesday, May 13th, 2020, and pretty exciting news, of course, from Dell today, although it was the worst kept secret in tech, I would think. We had all the leaked specs for about a month, or probably more than that. I got the press material from Dell. I was under embargo until this morning, so I couldn't really talk about it. But the Dell XPS 15, all new, and the Dell XPS 17 has been released. How is everybody doing tonight? I want to say hello to a few people. I hope everybody is having a good evening, a good day, depending on, of course, where you are. Now, before we begin, I want to thank those two douchebags who hit the dislike button this morning when I posted this live stream that was coming up, and they decided, well, either they hate me so much or they are just total D-bags that they had to hit the dislike button without the live stream even starting. And of course, I want to thank those two a-holes. But anyway, with that out of the way, we have some really good people in the live stream. A pretty lively chat I noticed early on, especially from Tech Realm. I want to say hello to my good buddy Tech Realm, who's of course always asking great questions. We're going to say hello to Stefan Glover. We're going to say to Connie Ha. Neil, good to see you, my friend. Let's see who else. Elliot Griffiths, once again, joining the live stream. Let me move this over just a little bit. Do you hear me? See me okay? Looks like we got pretty decent bandwidth, so we should be good at 1080p. If you are having any kind of buffering or anything like that, I would bump it down to 720p or 480 if that happens. So just let you know. But we're having good bandwidth so far. So far, so good. CJ Photography, good to see you. Let's see who else is here. Let's see, Frank DeAnt, how are you? Let's see, William Cohen, who was my saving grace during my Amazon live stream. I think he was the only one who commented, but I appreciate that, William. Paul is here, Tech Realm. Where's Paul? There you are, Paul. Once again, good to see you, my friend. So what we have here today, of course, is the big announcement from Dell. I did contact Dell. They did send me the press material. I have all their official press material that they gave to the media. And I also contacted my contact within the XPS line of Dell, and he will try to get me review units. They are in heavy demand, and I'm sure the bigger channels might get them a little bit before me, but he does like my work and hopefully will send me the review units sooner rather than later, but I will get them. But they've been great to me, and my Dell XPS 13 video hit 300,000 this week, which is fantastic, and I think it took less than a month, which is fantastic. So it looks like people are into the Dell XPS line big time, big refreshes, and I'm glad to see those refreshes carry over to the 15 and to the 17. Now, the 17 is not new. I mean, they did have a Dell XPS 17 10 years ago, but this is very different, and this is on a different level, I would think. Frank the Ant is here. Let's see who else is here. We have 74 of you in the live stream, so that's pretty good. Let's also get a few ground rules. Don't cut and paste your questions. I'm going to try to get to everybody's questions. I'm anticipating a lot of people tonight. Last live stream, we had a lot of people, or some people, I should say, were cut and pasting and kept asking the same question over and over. If you do that, I will not answer your questions. The other thing to know is if you do a super chat, you will be pushed to the front of the line. You'll actually be bumped up to the front of the line. So I will answer your questions, of course. If you have a super chat, you will get priority. So with that out of the way, let's bring in the specs from the Dell XPS 17. We're going to start off with the 17. And let me move over a little bit there. So the Dell XPS 17 is pretty interesting. It has that 16:10 aspect ratio, the four-sided thin bezel display, which looks absolutely gorgeous. We're looking at pretty interesting performance. There's no Core i9, which I'm kind of a little surprised with, or I'm not really surprised because of thermal issues, I'm sure. But we do get 10th generation processors, RTX graphics 2060, or you can get the GTX 1050 Ti with Max-Q design. Now, this is the 17-inch, of course, so that means they're pretty much putting a 17-inch display in a 15-inch laptop body. And that, to me, is pretty amazing. And this is the one that's piqued my interest the most. Let's see. CJ Photography saying, let's put your comments right over here. Let's get rid of the lower thirds here. What do you think of the lower thirds, by the way? I'm bringing them over from my main videos into the live stream. I figured it all out. I believe the XPS 15 will blow the Spectre X360 15 out of the water. Well, CJ Photography 8, we will find out. I do have the 15-inch X360 coming end of May, so stay tuned. Hopefully that won't be delayed. I do have it on the way. And hopefully I'll be able to get the 15 to compare. I definitely expect it based on my conversation with Dell today. Let's get some other questions in here. No Core i9, Yogi, which is a little bit of I don't know how I feel about it, because we know the thermal issues that plagued the last version at the Core i9. It just couldn't handle the heat, was just too much for that chassis. And of course, we know what happens when you have a very thin and light laptop with a really beefy processor or a robust processor, robust GPU. You're going to get thermal throttling because it's going to get extremely hot. Nowhere for the heat to go, so that's going to be an issue. So maybe that's why they didn't do a Core i9. I'm pretty sure that might be the reason why. Ashreet is saying he's happy to see those specs. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the specs. Let me go to the next page. I don't know if hopefully you guys can see that. Let me pull it up. You can see it there. So the big story here with and I'm not going to go through each spec. 97 watt-hour battery is going to be key. That's pretty much the legal limit you can take on an airplane. The big display, obviously we're getting bigger display than we would say with the Dell XPS 15, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to answer some more of your questions. Dan Griffiths needs some sugar to keep awake. Again, I do work a day job, so this was the only time I could do it today. We have 93 of you watching in the live stream. If you're new to my channel, check it out. Maybe you like some of my reviews. I do a lot of laptops, especially the Dell line, HP, Lenovo. I do it all, ThinkPad, Envy line, all of them. The Latitude line from Dell, we got it all up and coming. Check out my past reviews. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And if you do super chats, you will be put to the front of the line as far as me answering your questions, so just so you know. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say about this is no AMD processors, at least not yet. I'm a little bit disappointed. They didn't have the option to put AMD Ryzen processors in this. And I don't know what the reasoning is, or I'm not sure if it's something to do with the pandemic. I would like to see at some point in this XPS line the option to put AMD processors in. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm sure you guys really are looking for that as well. Let's see what Silver Ghost, how are you, my friend? Will you be comparing the XPS 15 and 17 to the upcoming Precision and Dell Latitude lines? Yes, I definitely will be doing that. I definitely am going to be reviewing both the Precision and the Latitude, the follow-up. I don't know if I'm still under embargo on certain things. I think that didn't lift yet. I know the XPS did lift this morning. Stay tuned, Silver Ghost. I got some exciting news on those fronts as well. Can't talk more about that though. ThunderCon, love the name, my friend, love the name. We must sign a petition so they put the XPS logo on the lid. Yeah. Some people don't like the logo. Some people love the logo. I'm indifferent. Listen, if the product works well, hopefully it'll be good. I love your name, by the way, Thunder. You know what? Good to see you, Matt. How are you doing? We have 95 of you in the live stream. And this, I've been hearing this a lot. Everybody's knocking Intel lately because AMD really has been making inroads, and let's not, listen, Intel's making great stuff also. They just need to be on the lookout because AMD is rising. I'm telling you, AMD is making some inroads. Josh Wilson, hello. Yo, 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 Adele. There you are. Thomas Konkal, how are you? Good you're here, Mark Howard. Ads once again in the house. Thunder. Okay, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to get demonetized. Probably I would have already got demonetized for those two douchebags, who I called them. I guess douchebag wouldn't probably get demonetized. A-holes is basically, who would put a dislike on a video, or rather a live stream, before it even happens? Either they hate me so much or they hate the Dell XPS line. Who knows? All right, let's get back to some of the questions. Angel Y is saying, can you test how the difference between the battery life between the 15 versus the older one? I will definitely give you all the numbers when I get it into the studio. As you know, if you follow my channel, if you're a subscriber, if you've seen my videos in the past, then you know that I like to compare previous models. I compare it to some of its competition, of course, and I put it in the charts. So you could definitely see that. Yes, AMD is rising, and I am rising as we got 84,000 subscribers. We're going to hit 85,000 probably next couple of days. We're on our way to 100,000, so hopefully sooner rather than later. Am I planning to cover the Surface Book 3? I am, and I did get in contact with my contacts at Microsoft finally, and they are arranging for me to get the Surface Book 3 and the Surface Go 2, so I will do both of them. They asked me my preference. I said, of course, the Surface Book 3, but I'm not going to say no to anything they say. I'm trying to establish a good relationship with them. If they want me to do the Go first or the Go 2 first, and then the Surface Book 3, I'll do whatever they want at this point, because I need to start getting review units. Those are really expensive, talking about the Surface Book 3. I'm actually using the Surface Book Original right here, and I'm going to switch cameras. Let's bring in my overhead cam, and let's switch that out, and then let me take this off for the moment. And here you can see the Surface Book. I have a skin on it. I did a custom skin on it years ago. This is the original Surface Book. I've actually just updated it, got it to the latest software updates, security patches, firmware updates, and it's actually working really well. So it's looking good. This is the Surface Book Original. It's a Core i5. It's got an MX150 in the base, and it's still working great here in 2020. Maybe I'll even do a video. Is the Surface Book, the original Surface Book, still good in 2020? So let me put that back to the side. This, of course, is the Dell XPS 13 9300, and we could also look at this to get an idea of the XPS 17 and 15 in the sense that this has a 16:10 aspect ratio. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the 13, by the way, is absolutely one of my favorite. The 9300 is in my running for laptop of the year. I see we have 3 dislikes already. All right, so we're getting the dislikes up. 2 prior to the live stream, 1 during the live stream. Really good class act people. 43 of you did put the thumbs up. And by the way, hitting the thumbs up, commenting, of course, doing all these things, doing the chat helps the algorithm, helps people see more of my videos. I see we had 89 of you in the studio. Let's get to the next question. And Quan is saying, looking forward to my review of the XPS 17, 15, and 17 coming up. Let me give you the coming up. Hold on. Where is it? If I can find, oh, here it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Coming up. And there you have it. So that will be coming up. Let's see. I like Andrew, Quan is saying, I like your interactions. Oh, the wrong one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Dan is saying, I like Andrew's interactions with the followers and his honesty. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dan. That means a lot to me. I try to give you genuine, honest reviews. And one of the reasons I like doing these live streams is so I can interact with my community. It's not so much, I am growing a little bit from it. I do gain subscribers. I don't lose them. So people obviously are liking them, but it's for those subscribers that I can engage with. And that's one of the things I really, really like about doing the live streams. Nice. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's see what CJ Photography 8. He's telling Neil he was in the market to replace a 6-year-old laptop. Didn't buy the X360, as tempting as it was, because he knew the 2020 XPS 15 was coming out, so he wanted to see which one to buy. Now let's take out my overhead cam for the moment, and let's bring in the XPS 15. Let's go with the specs first. And this is a little bit interesting. I love the XPS 15. I'm really excited about this one, but I'm not excited as much as I am for the 17. I see we have 5 dislikes already. Okay, that's great. Good. Class act, people. Class act. All right. But we do have 61 likes. All right, so the Dell XPS 15, moving again to that 16:10 aspect ratio. And if I could take me out, if I bring in this, you can see here, this is a 16:10 aspect ratio. If I switch it out, you can see it more like here, but we'll show it in a little bit. But what you're getting is those really thin bezels, more screen real estate. It's a taller display. You're able to then do more scrolling and web browsing, better for productivity. It's also a good blend to watch media, so it's the best of both worlds. 3:2 is great, of course, with the Surface line. I love that as well. But I think for watching media, we know 16:9 is the best because you won't get any letterboxing. But with the 16:10, you're getting the best of both worlds. And that's what I think is the best out of all the aspect ratios. Good, lively question. All right. So the XPS 15, it comes with a core. You can start, these are H processors. There's 6 cores, of course, right? And we're looking at the 4-sided Infinity Edge displays, of course. We are looking at the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 Ti with Max-Q design. So that's going to be your graphics choice if you want the dedicated graphics on that, of course. You also are getting a smaller battery. Let's see what the battery is on this. If I'm not mistaken, the battery is, what was it, 87? I think they lowered it. It was 90. You had the option last year to get the bigger battery from 97 watt hour, if I'm not mistaken. They put that in the 17 that's coming out this year. I think it's 86. Look on the specs here. Let me just see here real quick. Does anybody see the battery size? I think it's like 80 something, high 80s. So a little bit lower than last year's model, and I think that has to do with the smaller bezels and the smaller size in a sense, so we'll see. Yeah, I agree, Arjeet. 16:10 is definitely the sweet spot with a little extra vertical space, and still it's a wide screen. I definitely agree. How is everybody liking the live stream? We have 101 of you in the live stream, 5 dislikes, so thank you. 2 of them, by the way, prior to the live stream, so they really must hate me, but I'm glad to see everybody who's here and those that did do, the 65 of you that did hit the like button. There are some accessories you can get with this, as you can see here. The big one is going to be that adapter. The Dell adapter with the USB Type-C to HDMI, VGA, Ethernet, and USB 3.0 Type-A. Reason being, there's no Type-A on this. There's no HDMI. They took that out this year. So that dongle, the Dell adapter, will become key. Or you could, of course, always use third-party solutions. But again, some sacrifices, I guess, had to be made. I am a proponent of still hanging on to the USB-A port, but that's not what we're getting. Now on the 15, we're getting, let's see here, I believe it's going to be 3 Thunderbolt 3 ports. The 17 is going to have 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. So that's what you're getting. That's the move towards the Thunderbolt 3, of course. You're not getting a lot of the legacy ports. You still get that full-size SD card slot, if I'm not mistaken. We'll take a look at that in a moment. I don't know anything about OLED at this point. Does the 15 to 17 have OLED or not? I don't know. I don't know if it even says it. I know they just talk about the screen size, either a full HD or UHD. I have a feeling OLED may come later on. I think that's pretty much how they did it in the past. So we'll see. Alpha Logan is saying the XPS 17 is a game changer. So yeah, I think so. I think this is slim bezels, really modern look. One thing though I would have liked to have seen is this, and let me take this down for the moment. This is the the frost white on the Dell XPS 13. I have colored lights today, so it's hard, but this is white, trust me. And it has that glass woven fiber interior. I actually like this better than the black carbon fiber that we're going to get on the new 15 and 17. It's a major fingerprint magnet as far as I'm concerned. It does show a lot of smudges, at least the past models have. This doesn't. This really shows very little fingerprints, very little smudges. So that's good. Martin, let's see what you did. You ordered pre-ordered the 15 with the 8 cores, nice, 4K, 64 gigabytes of RAM, that's fantastic, 1 terabyte today. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be the right choice. Packing some really serious power in that. That's I'm hoping that's the SKU, at least that's the one I'm going to be getting on the 15. The 17, of course, has the RTX 2060 graphics as an option. You can still go with the GTX graphics if you want, but I'm a proponent, of course. You could always go for the bigger, better graphics horsepower, especially if you do video editing, especially if you're doing creative work. I definitely would go with the higher end specs. Okay, so, and I'm learning here a lot about this as well as you, even though I did get the press material. Python, it's 3 Thunderbolt and 2 are powered. Okay, that's good to know about the Thunderbolt 3 ports. So pricing can get expensive, of course. These are not cheap units. Of course, I think the i5 starts at $1099 for the 15-inch. I wouldn't get that unless you really, really can't do anything else. Oh, no, I'm thinking it starts a little bit more than that. Hold on. Let me see the new XPS 15. Let me just look on the website. Let's see here. And the Dell XPS 15. If anybody knows the pricing, I don't have it in front of me. We can pull it up. But again, I wouldn't do the entry-level model. I would go with the either the mid-tier or the higher-end tiers. Let's get some other questions into the chat here. Paul and William are having a great conversation here. I think you're onto something there. Some people hate any content related to brands they don't like. Are you guys talking about the dislikes I've gotten already? I've already gotten 5, 67 likes. By the way, hit the like button, it helps the algorithm. People, yeah, I guess their brand, you know, a lot of these people are very loyal to the brand, to a fault, I guess. I'm more agnostic when it comes to that. Let me get down to here to see what other questions. I know Paul asked a question. I'm really curious as to how the new XPS will compare to the HP Envy offerings for the creatives. The tentative specs show similar CPUs, GPUs. Yeah, I'm curious too. The Envy line will be coming very soon. Obviously, they're going to be releasing those. I will be getting review units. I've spoken to HP about this, so stay tuned. We're going to do some head-to-head with regards to between Dell and HP. Definitely for sure. We got 104 of you in the live stream. So thank you, Paul, for that question. Really, and I'm looking forward to testing that out. Yes, it could be the showdown of the century. Yes. Thank you, Ajit. 15-inch starts at $12.99. I was looking at the older model, which you can get on sale. Might be good deals, by the way, so don't laugh. It might be good deals on the last gen, which is still very relevant here in 2020. At steep discounts, might be something to consider. I'm a big proponent of that. You know that. $12.99 for the 15-inch. That it could go up from there, obviously, depending on how you spec it out. And Arjeet, once again, coming to the rescue here. The 17 starts at $14.99. Again, so these are not cheap, but they're not intended to be budget, of course. These are geared towards creative professionals, for people who need more horsepower, consumers that want to be on the higher end. And this is exactly what this brings to the table. So RG, thank you for the price updates for the starting prices. I was very curious myself about that. Yes, we are. Thank you, Paul, that's for sure. CJ Photography 8 wants to see a battery life comparison test, especially considering the smaller 87 watt battery it has. Yeah, 87 watts is definitely less than the 97 that they offered last year, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but we'll see. Of course, I'll do my testing when I get it into the studio. Dakota loves my voice and smile, deserve more views and subs for sure. I really appreciate that, Dakota. I guess some people don't like me because they have 5 dislikes, 2 of which before the live stream, which is amazing. 2 a-holes, of course. But thank you, Dakota. I really appreciate that. Where are we? We're at 31 minutes. Boy, this goes so fast. I don't know how long I'm going to do it tonight before my equipment starts crapping out on me. You know how my track record, of course. But we started to get things, I don't want to knock on wood here because I don't want to jinx anything, so maybe I should just shut up. Does it support the Dell Active Pen? I don't know, and they didn't say anything. I'm guessing no, because this doesn't support the Active Pen. But you never know. You never know. But so the 9300, for those that are wondering, this is the Dell XPS 13 9300, the 2020 version, and it's been fantastic. It has a touch display. I have the full HD Plus resolution on it, but it doesn't have any pen support. So if you want pen support, go to the 2-in-1, the XPS 2-in-1 or the HP Spectre X360 or a 2-in-1 convertible like the HP Elite Dragonfly, which I will be showing very soon. We'll be talking about that very soon in a video. And speaking of which, I hope you caught my previous video, which was the Samsung Galaxy Book Flex, as you can see on the display here on your screen. Check it out if you haven't done so. I dropped it this morning, or late last night rather, I should say, or last night. And it's doing okay. I'd like to get more views on it though. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's a really good 2-in-1. In fact, I have it right here. This is it right here. Gorgeous royal blue, but again, major fingerprint magnet, but phenomenal battery life. So if you haven't checked out the review, check it out. Okay. So, and I have something else that, just to tease a little bit, this just came today. This is the Tab S6 Lite. I'm going to unbox this after the live stream and get to work on this. I reviewed if you're in the market for a lower priced S Pen tablet, like the Tab S6, this is the light version, and it might not be quite as great as the specs of the Tab S6, but it will be very good. I have a lot of good feelings about this one. I will be unboxing it. It comes with the S Pen, but there are some things they had to compromise on to get the price down, but it is an S Pen Android tablet. If you're not into the iPads, then this might be a good one for you to check out. So that's just arrived to the studio right before the live stream. All right, so let's see. Wasim, will you make a review for it? Are you talking about the Samsung just remind me, are we talking about the Dell? I just gave you a little teaser of what's coming up, but yeah, remind me, let me know what you're talking about. I love, the ThinkPad line, I love. And by the way, there are stuff that I can't talk about. Again, more embargoes. There's so many embargoes right now. I will be talking about some ThinkPads very soon, so stay tuned. I love the ThinkPads. I recently did the L13 Yoga, which is a great affordable ThinkPad. If you haven't done so, check it out. Check out my video. Paul Wingard, P. Wingard, I don't know if it's Paul, but P. Wingard, sorry about that. The full spec 17 could be over 5,000 Canadian. So what is that in dollars? Is that about what, 4,000 plus, 4,700 or something like that, or maybe less. I don't know the conversion rate right now, but it could be very expensive. And yes, even Dell told me, the person in charge of the reviews, he's only allotted a certain amount of budget to get out these units. And that's one of the problems of everybody wants them. These are in hot demand by the different tech reviewers. The good news is I have a good relationship with them. My last video, this Dell XPS 13 video, got over 300,000 views in I think less than a month. So I'm really happy. You guys came through for me on that. So let's see. Let's go to the next comment. Is there a release date for the 7th? Is there a release date? Now, if you noticed, I don't know if you knew this, it did leak early this morning that there was a page where you can buy it, or they took it down. What I'm hearing is the 17, or the Dell XPS 17, is coming sometime in the summer. My sources are saying in June. The 15 will be here in May, sometime in May. I don't have the exact date, but it will be coming. What is the best engineering and college laptop? If you're an engineer, you want to do CAD work, or you're doing all sorts of stuff, I would go, I love the ThinkPad X1 Extreme Gen 2 is good. The P1 is a really good for that from ThinkPad. And of course, these Dells are going to be good. The Dell Precision 5540, although that's going to get a refresh very shortly. So any one of these Dells might be a good option for you, the 15 or the 17. So stay tuned. We'll get all the numbers in. We'll find out. 17-inch Precision, I can't talk about it, but you could imagine that there's going to be a refresh on the Precision line. 17, I have to double check, but there are stuff coming, so stay tuned. Ditya. Where's the discrete GPU of the Samsung Flex being sold if it's not being offered in the UK? Paul, I have no idea. The only reason we know about it is because the specs, the Samsung press material has said it. There is a discrete GPU version with the MX250. I think it's in Korea. That's what I think, in South Korea. But I don't know of any other place selling it. You might be able to import it, but the ones they're selling here, as far as the Flex is concerned, have the Iris Plus graphics. Dude knows Dell himself. I do not know Dell. Michael Dell, if you're watching, let's talk, okay? Here's the conversion rate, by the way. Thank you. Wow, Arjit is helping me out tonight. I'm going to make you a moderator soon if I figure out how to do that. 5,000 Canadian is $3,600, so it's off for about over $1,000. $3,600, of course, is not cheap. It's pretty expensive, but you're getting pretty powerful stuff, pretty high-end stuff. I think it might be worth it. GGTS Frogs Mexico TV. How are you? What laptop do you suggest for me in Mexico for someone in video editing, drone footage, trying to start a business, limited laptop choices, and have to pay double? Ugh, doesn't that suck? What are your choices? The Dell XPS 15, look at last year's version. Now that the new version's coming out, look at what you can get on deals right now. It will come down in price. It has some good specs. It'll allow you to do 4K video editing. It'll allow you to edit that drone footage. I think it might be a really good choice. Check out the Dell XPS 15. Prior model. The new model will be expensive, so you'll get some really good discounts, hopefully even in Mexico, on the prior generation. We have 86 likes, so that's good. We got 110 of you. I'm keeping your attention. Hopefully you're enjoying it, except for the 5 who've already given me the thumbs down. Dan Griffiths is asking, how much will the CPU throttle due to heat? How good is the heat chamber on the XPS 13 2-in-1? We don't, on the 13 2-in-1, the one we reviewed, thermals, of course, any thin and light laptop, not great. It will thermal throttle. The one on the 17 is using a special cooling. I think it's vapor, what is it, vapor chamber cooling? I've got the exact terminology. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. But the 15 doesn't have the same cooling. In fact, I looked at Dave Lee's video today. He actually got a pre-production sample. I didn't, of course. But he was able to do some testing. But again, pre-production unit, so things can change. And he said the thermals were actually looking decent, although he doesn't have a final production product. So, but pretty interesting stuff. I mean, he was able to get it. They gave it to him. Have you found any performance stability issues for the 9300? Tech Realm was asking. In thermal management, on par or better than the 2-in-1 vapor chamber? To be honest with you, I haven't noticed too much of a difference. I would have to go back. I look at my review or look at my numbers from the 2-in-1 that I did late October. I don't have that unit anymore. I had to give it back to Dell. but I can look into it, Tech Realm. I didn't see too much of a difference between the 9300 and the 2-in-1. So we'll have to see. But hopefully that sort of answers your question. Let me look more into it, Tech Realm. Sharky 165, how are you? Sorry you're late. No, man, welcome. We got 107 of you tonight. We're really having a lively one. You're enjoying the great content and commentary? Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means I'm doing my job. Dave Lee, yeah, they're talking, and Neil and Steve are talking about this. Dave Lee said the cooling was not just decent, but dope. So there you go. If Dave Lee says it, he's a good guy, and I like what he does. So yeah, I mean, look, I like Dave Lee's old stuff, though, to be honest, but he obviously has the pre-production models, and he can't say certain things, I'm sure, but he can tell you certain things, and so far it's looking good, so that's excellent. Any ads is asking, any new Lenovo ThinkPad laughing within 2 weeks? You probably mean landing within 2 weeks, not laughing. The five people who gave me the thumbs down are laughing. I'm desperate, but I can't wait for 2 weeks. Ads, stay tuned. That's all I can say. I can't say anything. I'm under an embargo, which probably tells you everything you need to know. Just wait. Don't buy anything yet. That's all I'm saying. What's this? Tech physicist psychiatrist. I need a psychiatrist after this live stream. Dell is coming after the MacBook Pro with these. Absolutely, and they're bringing it big time. They're bringing the big guns, and I think the Apple should be concerned, very concerned here. Dell, if again, I haven't used these devices yet. But if it's any indication of the quality and everything they put into the 13 9300 is now going to head on over to the 15 and the 17, we might have a MacBook killer here. Okay, a killer, MacBook Pro killer. We'll see. I'm looking forward to getting it into the studio and testing. William saying, you're doing good. You have 91 likes for 108 people watching. 3 of those dislikes could be for the Dell PCs and not you. I'm just kidding. William, you know, I don't care. Listen, you got to have a thick skin in this game. I've been doing this long enough that I know who my fans are. I know who the real genuine people are. D-bags like those 2 that hit the dislike button before the stream even began this morning. Really, really unbelievable. They must be Apple fanboys or something. I don't know. But we'll see. Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, so looking good. The stream is looking okay. It looks like the bandwidth is pretty decent, so that's good. No problem, Tech Realm. I can get the XPS 13 7390 2-in-1, which I love, by the way, 900 or 9300 for 960. Which one do you think is worth it? Oh. Now, I know, if I remember correctly, Tech Realm, you don't mind the maglev keyboard, right? Because if you don't mind the maglev keyboard, when some people really like it, and I think it's okay, don't get me wrong, I don't hate it. I just like the 9300's keyboard better. But if that's not an issue, the 2-in-1 has got as good a display. They have the very similar displays in terms of brightness and in terms of vibrancy. Really fantastic. If you watched my showdown of all the 2-in-1s I did earlier this year, you'll know what I'm talking about, because this is a beautiful display. So, and I'm really looking forward to the ones on the 15 and on the 17. So we'll see. But yeah, if you don't mind the keyboard and you want the pen support and the ability to use it as a convertible into tablet mode and all that stuff, yeah, then the 7390 is a good deal, especially for $900, which to me is an absolute steal. Now, having said that, they're going to refresh it at some point this year. But again, at $900, you're getting one of the best 2-in-1s out there with a fantastic display. So if you're into that, yes. If you want a clamshell, then go with the 9300. Either way, you can't go wrong. So hopefully that helps you. Yeah, Thunder. Yes, I don't want to get demonetized. The fantards, yes, I'm tired of them. And you know, people. And last week, by the way, people are particularly nasty. I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe because I'm getting more views lately. I'm growing. The channel's growing. We have 100 people watching right now. We have over nearly 85,000 subscribers. I'm not really sure where the hate's coming from. I'm not really sure. All right. Paul is saying, I keep wanting, every time I want to call you Paul, I don't know why. P. Wingard is saying I would wait for the 2-in-1. Yeah, that's going to get a refresh. I don't anticipate it. I think if it's anything like last year, of course, nothing's normal this year because of the pandemic. But if it's on schedule, probably this fall would be, I would anticipate an update to the 2-in-1, probably, I would say around October. So if you can't wait, get it now. $900 for the 7390 Tech Realm will be fantastic. Can you show off the backlight, the keyboard backlight on the 13? Yeah, I can. I'd have to turn this light off. Let's see. You like my fancy lights? Hold on, let me figure out how to turn this off. It's here somewhere. Let me just see here. Okay, I don't know if it's going to show up on here because I have the studio lights, but you can sort of see here if I do that. You can see there, the backlight's actually really good. And I was a little concerned white on white, but it's actually pretty good. It's working pretty good in terms of being able to see. And it has multi-stages, so hopefully that helps you. If I could turn these lights back on, that'll be another miracle. There we go. Let's just leave it at that color for now, or I could just go like here. So we got 99 of you in the studio. Okay, there we go. I like that color. Okay. All right, let's see where we are. Now you're just getting me to wait for it. Shucks. Okay. All right. We may have some streaming issues. I'm getting a notification. Again, a lot of people on the stream, I guess, tonight. Hopefully it's not too bad. Professor Python is saying, been living with the butterfly keyboard for a while now. I ache for key travel, staring into the Dells and Lenovo. Yeah, butterfly keyboard, not good on the Mac. Not good. Not good. You got it, no problem. Many people are, many people are definitely biased to the companies, the Apples, the Samsung Knights, the Apple fanboys. They're all out in force lately. Looks like my bandwidth is not the best right now. So we're at, let's see where we are, 48 minutes. I want to keep it to an hour tonight. We have 97 of you, so it's pretty lively. How does it look? Does the stream look okay? I know it's going a little bit down, but it looks like it's recovering a little bit, not much. So we'll see. If you have any kind of buffering, just go down to 720p or 480. You should be fine. Yeah, many people are biased for sure. I definitely agree with you. If you didn't check out my latest video, check it out. It's the Samsung Galaxy Book Flex review I did. So definitely check it out. And for those that don't know who I am, my name is Andrew, and I do reviews here on YouTube. Check it out. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I do laptops, 2-in-1s, tablets. In fact, I'm going to have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. I keep putting it upside down very soon. I just got it into the studio. So we'll see. All right, let's see where we are. Looks like the bandwidth is decent, not great. All right, stream is good. I have no problems. Excellent. William, my friend, thank you. 1920 by 1080 battery life is more important on a tiny screen. I don't think 4K matters as much unless you are a pro video editor or something. Couldn't have said it better, Professor Python. I agree. 1080p, and in this case, 1920 by 1200 or Full HD Plus really is excellent. You don't need to get 4K, and then you're doing great on battery life on this. So we got 104 of you. This is fantastic. Okay, thank you for bringing this up. Let's get back, let's close this for a moment, and let me switch out cameras here. Let me take the overhead cam off and bring back in the 17, because I want to talk about the speaker placement. Let's go to the spec sheet here. Okay, this is a 17. I don't know if I'm trying to find the picture where it shows it better. Okay, so you can sort of see it here. The speakers are top firing speakers. I like the placement, but at the cost of a numpad. You won't get a numeric keypad, but they gave you pretty beefy speakers. And for what Dave Lee said in his video today, they're going to sound pretty good. They actually sound really good. He didn't say they sounded quite as good as the MacBook Pro 16. He thinks that sounds better, but these are very, very good. 15, not quite as good as the 17. So that's some pre-production units from Dave, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But I like the speaker placement. I like top firing speakers rather than bottom firing. Now, the one I have here is bottom firing. Let me bring it back in. These are bottom firing speakers and on the XPS 13, and they're great. They sound great, but I prefer to have top firing speakers. Let me know what you guys think about it as well. All right. Dan is saying, I like surfing the net on HP Chromebooks using a touchscreen. I prefer clamshell, but touch for web browsing is a lot easier using a touchpad. Yeah, I definitely am a big proponent of touch displays. You know what I've said it in the past about Apple not having a touch display. They say we'll buy an iPad Pro. I don't want to buy an iPad Pro. I have one, but I want a laptop with a touch display. Dell makes them, HP makes them, and they work great. You know, Lenovo makes them. They work great. So yeah, I agree, Dan. I definitely agree with you on that. Tech Realm is saying some websites and videos say that the performance on the 9300, which is this, is actually better than the 2-in-1, but others say the opposite, especially with performance over time, stability. I've used both of them. I haven't used the 2-in-1 in a while. I can tell you I didn't see a discernible difference between the two. They both have the 10th generation Ice Lake processors. They both have Intel Iris Plus graphics. They both have the same amount of RAM, and the same storage, I believe. So I didn't see a discernible difference. So to me, it's a matter of form factor. Which one do you want to go with? You want a 2-in-1 or you want a clamshell? So that's at least my take on it. Let me get some water here. All right. So let's see. Yeah, top firing all day. CJ Photography agrees with me. Current laptop has bottom firing, so I have it hooked up to some creative Bluetooth speakers. Yeah, you know, and these are good. The 9300 on the 13 is very good, the speakers. I just prefer top firing speakers. How does the Dell compare to, say, the Asus? The Asus can get expensive, by the way. You know, I reviewed the ZenBook Pro Duo. I absolutely loved it. So if you're looking for that for creative work, I know you were doing drone work, that might be very good. I got another dislike. I got 96 likes, which is fantastic during a live stream, but I got 6 dislikes. The 2 D-bags who, before the stream began, gave me dislikes. Unbelievable. Professor Python is saying, agreed. I think the iPad Pro is worth the money. If one wants an iPad, I would think the base iPad for $300 is a good deal. I agree. But $800 for Pro, excluding keyboard, is just too much. A laptop is better. Couldn't have said it better myself. XPS 17 is MacBook Pro's coronavirus. I like that, Alpha Logan. I like that. All right. Oh, I got another dislike. Excellent. Good. Yes, that is the, that I think Apple has to be concerned here. Yes. Which version of the 10th gen Intel chip gets you Iris Plus graphics? The Ice Lake. You have to go with Ice Lake, and depending on the manufacturer, of whether or not they're going to have Ice Lake, or whether or not it's an i7 or an i5, they can put it in the i5, but some choose not to. i7 usually will have it, so the Ice Lake processor. What do I think of Asus machines in general? I think they're pretty good. I'm a big fan, as you know. I just did the 14, the Asus ZenBook 14, I believe. Is that the one I just did? Yes, and I really do like it. I liked it a lot. And check out my video if you didn't see it. Man of Steel is asking, hey Andrew, is the new 4K display better than the OLED from previous version? And do you think it'll be available with 10th generation i9? Glad to see you. Great to see you again. Thank you, Man of Steel. I do anticipate, I would imagine they would put an OLED version, just not yet off the bat. Their MO has been to release the standard. You get the full HD non-touch with the 4K touch, I believe, in this instance, if I'm not mistaken, but they might add an OLED display option later. I would imagine they would. I just don't know when. So yes, as far as the i9, I have a feeling the i9 they didn't do great last year because of the thermals, and they might not have cracked that nut, so to speak. It might be an issue, and that's probably why they're not offering it out of the gate rather. But maybe down the road, if they can improve the thermal somehow, then maybe we'll see an i9. Hey, look, they took away the dislike, so that's good. All right, maybe I converted somebody. Yeah, so definitely. I think Apple's been living on the reputation for a while. What was the last groundbreaking laptop that they brought out? You know what? It's a very good point. What would be the most groundbreaking laptop? I guess the only one I can even point to as far as a laptop would be the original MacBook Air, like 12 years ago. I haven't seen anything groundbreaking. I don't think the butterfly keyboard is not considered a groundbreaking technology. It was a disaster, colossal F-up by Apple. I think Jet Martin is saying, I think all 10th gen Intel chips are Spectre resistant. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I know Spectre. I'm actually getting, by the way, it reminds me, I'm getting the Spectre X360 15 very soon. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I love the Spectre line, that's for sure. They've had some issues though. Did you hear about the 16-core laptop that Linus talked about? I did not. I did not. So hopefully maybe I'll catch it at some point. Which one is better for value, 10300H? Or the 10750H for light productivity. These are H processors, so I believe are 6 cores? I don't know. I'd have to look at the benchmarks. I would think the 10750H is better, but I think you'll be fine for the 103. If it's light work, light productivity, it doesn't take that much, so maybe you might be good with those. I hope I'm answering your question okay. 95 of you in the live stream. I'm trying a few different things here. I had a few different graphics and so forth, but I'll do some more coming up soon. Let's see, any other questions? We're now at 58 minutes. I wanted to keep it at an hour before my equipment screws the pooch on me. Will you be Sharky165 always asks the great questions. Will you possibly be reviewing any alternative Android phones like the OnePlus 8 regular or Pro? I would love to, but OnePlus ignores all my emails. So instead, I have the TCL, which is right here. The TCL, oh, I don't have the camera on, hold on. Let me bring in that camera. The TCL 10 Pro, which I actually really do like. Hold on, let me switch cameras. I really do like this. And my review of it will be coming once the embargo lifts in a day or so. $449 in the US, and I don't know where my other one is. The 10L will be $249. But beautiful, beautiful. And the cameras I'm really impressed with also. Not bad, not bad. I think I have to charge it. It's out of battery, but we'll get my review on that at some point. All right, so we're at an hour, about an hour. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go. I'm getting a little tired and I have a lot more to do. MacBook Air Thunder, yeah, okay. MacBook Air with a standalone cooling fan with no heat pipes or nothing is a joke. Maybe they did that intentionally just to be sarcastic to show the world how dumb their loyal fanboys are. Yeah, maybe. I love the comments you make. It's definitely great. Yeah, it could be. Could be. I think we're losing the bandwidth, so I think we might start to wrap it up soon. Yeah, that design is extra special applesauce. Definitely. Um, yeah, I agree. No, Apple is no longer the standard for video editing, although I'm a big hypocrite because I do edit my videos, most of my videos at least, 95% on Final Cut Pro. If it wasn't for Final Cut Pro, I probably wouldn't even use a Mac at all. Although I do like the Mac, don't get me wrong, I just prefer certain Windows laptops better, but I do like Final Cut Pro better than Premiere Pro. So that's just my preference. I just work better on that for my video editing. So that one program, that one application makes the difference for me. Last question, excuse me. Last question from Neil. Can you give us a tease of how the Dell XPS 15 compares to the HP Spectre 15, ignoring the design? Without having both of them in the studio, obviously one is a convertible, one is not. So those are the big differences. I like the 2-in-1 convertible of the XPS Spectre. I think I'm a little bit more partial to the XPS 15. I have a soft spot in my heart for it, and especially with this redesign, with the move to the 16:10 aspect ratio, it definitely will be better. So hopefully that was the case. Paul is saying, I do wish there was a Final Cut version for Windows. Absolutely, but they'll never do it. They'll never do it. So just forget about that. We don't even have one, at least not yet, for the iPad Pro, and they can't even do that. So let's see. Alpha Logan saying Dell needs to assign you a purchasing promo code. Dell, I don't need a purchase. Oh, I would like to give you guys one. That might be a good thing to do for you guys, but I don't need one. They're going to send me review units, so I just don't know when I'm going to get it due to the limited supply. But at some point, I will get it. And they know I have good turnaround time. He even said it to me today when I spoke to Dell. So hopefully I'll get it sooner rather than later. Professor Python would go full Linux if he had all the applications he needed, but since it doesn't, he'll stick with Macs for the Linux or the Unix environment, which is big for developers. Absolutely. And again, I don't bash Apple. I actually do like the Mac OS. I'm on an iMac doing this live stream with Ecamm Live. So yeah, I mean, I can't bash them, but for those that are just Apple or die, and that's it, this being the biggest fanboys, then that's not for me. I don't like that. You can give Tim Cook, Neil is saying you can give Tim Cook the time by running Final Cut on virtual machine. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm not going to do that to myself. Yeah, that definitely is possible. Final Cut and Xcode are coming to iPad soon, I hear. Yeah, I hear that also, but who knows, when, hopefully soon. No idea how they'll handle the insane RAM. My videos, if you watch my videos, are pretty complicated with plugins and all sorts of graphics and stuff, pretty intensive stuff. I'm not sold on the iPad being the be-all, end-all replacement of a laptop or a desktop. So I still need more convincing on that. In a few years, Dell will ask Andrew to return the XPS 13 phone. Okay, in all fairness, I still have it here, but they did tell me it was long-term, so I'm not holding on to it longer than I should. They said, keep it as long as you want, or long-term, do follow-up videos with it. And I have done a lot of live streams with it. I've done a lot of stuff with this bad boy. And by the way, it's working great. I absolutely love this laptop. So yeah, it's working great. I should return it at some point, but I really am not. By the way, it's doing looks like a firmware download. So it looks like I'm going to have a firmware to do after this live stream. So yeah, that's the XPS 13. I absolutely love it. I'm just dreading the day that Dell tells me to give it back. I want to keep it at least till I get the 15 and the 17 to have the whole family, to have the whole line, the XPS line, all laid out for you guys to see the differences. Can we consider them as a gaming laptop too? You can they're not gaming laptops. They're not billed as that. I think Dave Lee mentioned that as well today with his pre-production units. They're not gaming laptops, but they are able to play games, if that makes any sense. So they have pretty good GPUs. You can play on certain settings, get some really playable frame rates. I'll go over that when I do get them in the studio, especially with the RTX 2060. I'm sure that's going to be definitely decent for gaming. Great for video editing. These are good for creatives. Great for Photoshop, video editing, Lightroom, all that kind of stuff. Really good stuff, and I look forward to testing it out. Thoughts on extended warranties on these pricey products? I hate giving advice on this because I simply don't like to do that because it's a matter of personal preference. Some people like them. I don't buy them only because I don't keep these things long enough. And plus, I'm getting a lot of review units. So I'm a little bit I don't want to say yes or no, we should get an extended warranty, because when the day it does crap out on you and you'll say, I wish I had it. So it's really a matter of personal preference. I can see the pros and cons for both sides. I just don't do it, not because I'm so cheap, because probably I am, but because I don't keep these laptops long enough to warrant such a thing. And to be honest with you, I get review units at this point, so I really don't need it. So as far as the average consumer, I guess for a really expensive one, it might work out. So yeah, I guess I would have to say err on the side of caution. Yeah, I would get it in the end of the day, if that makes any sense. 103 of you. Is it better? Doc Garg is asking, which is better, the Spectre 13T Touch or the NV13? I hate the naming conventions. Is the NV13 just a clamshell, or the 13 Touch, we know is a clamshell? I don't know if that's the case. It's a matter of personal preference. Do you want a clamshell? Do you want a convertible? It's apples and oranges as far as I'm concerned. Santiago Cannon, you're late to the discussion, but how long are you predicting the battery life to be? I don't know. I don't like giving any kind of estimates because I don't know. And especially with the 15 now with a smaller battery, not much smaller, but it's still pretty robust. I think 87 watt hours is pretty good. It's just not 97 watt hours. That's what the 17 will have. I anticipate hopefully good battery life. The full HD model will definitely get better battery life than the 4K model. That's pretty much a given, I think, so we'll see. But again, until I get the review units into the studio, I can't really answer that yet. Let's keep going. Also, Andrew, you should do a collab with more famous tech reviewers like Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. I would love to. Lisa, the funny thing is I really admire her. I think she's great. I have a lot of respect for her, obviously. She's done this a long time, very good. And I've seen her at these online press briefings, and I never really get it's online, so you really can't get a chance to talk, and hopefully one day I will be able to. Looks like the bandwidth is going down. So looks like things are not looking decent. So I think that might be our cue, by the way. So I think we're going to call it a night. We're over an hour, almost an hour and 10 minutes. We got 101 of you. Let's leave on a high note. I want to thank everybody for stopping by, checking it out. We talked about the Dell X. We can go on for hours. I just got to get to the reviews. I got to do the videos. So definitely will do another live stream. We'll be talking more about this as I get more information, as I get information on when I'm going to be getting review units on this. I will be getting the Surface Book 3 and the Surface Go 2. At least that's what Microsoft has said so far. I don't know when. They're working on it. So good things, people. Oh, good. Look, somebody took away a dislike. Great. We're down to 5 now, so I guess I turned them. I turned you guys. But if you're not a subscriber to my channel, maybe go out, check it out. Do a search on Andrew Mark David on YouTube. You might like what you find, some of the suggested videos. And straight shooter, I tell you how it is. I do it from the perspective of a purchaser, of an average consumer. Going out, what are you looking for? Battery life, performance, all that stuff. I look at it all. I look at the webcams. I look at the displays. I do everything. So check it out if you're not already a subscriber. All right, people, I'm going to call it a quit because I'm not getting good bandwidth here, so I don't want to end too bad. I will see you, everybody, in the next video. I got a lot of things coming up. But it's been a great live stream tonight. I want to thank everybody. Paul, William, Tech Realm, Thunder, you know what? All of you guys have been fantastic. Paul, everybody, you know who you are. You know who you are. I can't get to all of you, but let's call it a night. Let's say it was a very successful live stream, and I'm hopefully going to do another one